the East Regional. Game 2 all set to begin as North Carolina, the #1 seed, they're ready to take on the #5 seeded California Golden Bears. And a look at our brackets. Louisville going on to beat Texas 78-63. They await the winner of this game. Evening, everybody. Welcome back to Syracuse. I'm Gus Johnson. As California and North Carolina are all set to face each other for the 3rd time in their history. And Dean Smith and the Tar Heels, they're coming off a magical moment in Winston-Salem in the last round. Carolina beating Colorado 73-56. Dean Smith becoming the winningest coach of all time with win number 877. But with the record already behind them, when they're ready to focus on getting to the national championship, and they're doing a great job this year with 2 young players, Eddie Cota, a freshman, and Antoine Jamison, a sophomore.
Yeah, that says something about the team. They're a young team, so experience has got to be a factor or concern anyway. In Jamison, you've got a guy that is quick around the basket, strong, and gets to the ball very well for them, as you see what his numbers look like. And Ed Cota, you have a young man that really runs the offense for them, has turned himself around in the team because his defense has become much better. His assist-to-turnover ratio has also improved. This team feels like they can go a long way when those 2 guys play strong.
And for California, they received a tough break when Ed Gray, their leading scorer, averaging 24 points a game, went out at the end of the season with a broken foot. But this young man, a tight end on the football team, has really stepped up in his place.
He has been very strong, and the thing that he's done most is you look, his numbers is almost 3 times from what they were at the beginning of the year. As you take a look at what he's done in the tournament, and that's what's made him so strong. But additionally, he played against Tim Thomas from Villanova, shut him out offensively in the second half. That's how the Cal Bears get here playing in the Sweet 16 against this North Carolina Tar Heel team.
And the starting lineups for California, they've started at least 4 seniors in the lineup all season long, and they've started 5 11 times, 4 in the lineup this time. Tony Gonzalez, the junior, and for Carolina, Williams, Carter, Zwicker, Okalaja, and Antoine Jamison. And the head coach for Cal, Ben Braun, in his first year, coming over from Eastern Michigan, the 1997 Pac-10 Coach of the Year, his 20th year as a head coach. And the officials, Jim Burr, Mike Foote, and Paul Jansen. And we're underway in game number 2, California in gold, Carolina in the white uniforms.
I expect this to be a game, a little bit of a plotting game, if you will. And by that I mean that I think that California will be very patient because they know that they have leadership and experience in their favor. Try to go inside to get some points.
Here's Stewart. Drop step on the baseline, and he hit the short jump shot.
And I think the physical play is going to be what makes the determination whether or not Carolina will step up and be as aggressive physically as I'm sure Cal will be.
Rebounding, a very big key in this game. Jamison squaring up, and he'll get the roll.
I think that's his shot, but that's what he's got to extend. He's got great skills around the basket. He's got to extend that out to about 17 feet, but he's very capable of making the one that he just took.
Jamison, sophomore from Charlotte, first team All-ACC as a sophomore, and a turnover against the Bears. And Dean Smith, truly a legend in college basketball, his 36th season, all-time winningest coach in college basketball history with 877 wins.
Because I played for Coach Smith on the Olympic team. He's as unassuming about anything that's not team-oriented as anybody I've ever been involved with.
There's a block shot, Stewart. Nice touch pass, duck to the basket. Grigsby, rebound inside, is followed too strong.
Good defense by Serge Zwicker. He was there, and that's why that shot wasn't obviously wasn't made.
Shamond Williams, junior from Greenville, South Carolina. Here's Vince Carter. Spotting up for the 3, and he buries it.
We weren't sure he was going to play. Remember, he injured his groin in the last game against Colorado, but obviously he's back playing strong, shooting that right over the top of Duck.
Top of the key, Duck to Magruder. Bounce pass inside. Grigsby with Jamison on him. Tries to roll, got it off, and knocked it down. Albert Grigsby, senior from Houston, has battled through all kinds of injuries during his career here at California. Had his jersey retired. Only the second player ever at Cal to have that done. And North Carolina, their road to the Sweet 16. Tough game against Fairfield. defeated Colorado.
They rolled on Colorado. Chauncey Billups and the Colorado Buffs just didn't have enough. But I think as much as anything, the players from North Carolina wanted to win that game for Dean Smith so they could get it out of the way so they could get to this game and try to put themselves in a position to go to the Final Four.
And 2 quick buckets by Michael Stewart, the senior from Sacramento, California, only averages 6 points per game on the season.
Gus, that tells you what California wants to do. Get it inside.
Here's Zwicker, back to the basket, fade away. Off the back of the iron, Magruder, long rebound, head of steam.
3.
Duck spotting up. And Williams with the rebound. Don't forget coming up, Providence and Chattanooga. Some of you will see that ball game at 10:24. It's scheduled to start Eastern time. 17:06 to go here, and North Carolina and California, 1-point ball game. And this player, Eddie Cota, a freshman from Brooklyn, New York, he has been the key to the turnaround of this North Carolina team this season.
And all of his teammates will say that. First of all, he's a freshman, and to come in and play in the ACC as a freshman and do the kinds of things that he's done has been pretty phenomenal, but particularly in the second half, defensively, became a lot better. And what he did was his assist-to-turnover ratio improved because he just became more confident in what the Carolina Tar Heels wanted him to do, and he has been a big part of the turnaround that they've had since they went 0-3 at the start of the conference.
Eddie Cota leading the ACC in assists. He's the first freshman to lead him in assists since 1990 when Kenny Anderson did it. Gonzalez off the front of the rim. Loose ball picked up by Mike Stewart, and the Golden Bears will get a new 35.
Stewart gets the ball because Grisby is the one that kept it alive.
Duck inside. We got a whistle and a foul. Grigsby drawing the foul. And for Ben Braun in his first year, he's got 6 seniors on the team. They were picked to finish between 6th and 8th in the Pac-10 this season. However, they came up with a win over Princeton in the first round and a shutdown Villanova in the second round.
Princeton, obviously a team that all have heard of, had beat UCLA last year. And then going against Villanova, you had that big front line, Tim Thomas, Jason Williams, Chuck Cornegie, and what they were able to do is just withstand that inside pressure. I think that's going to be the problem that Carolina's going to have to deal with. This is a very physical team, and you don't normally think of West Coast teams as being physical.
4 points now for Grigsby. 1-point lead for California. Lobbed inside, Zwicker. Can't handle it, and he'll get it back out to Cota, and he'll reset the offense. Williams guarded tightly by Duck. He's their 3-point specialist. 13 to shoot. Magruder really squatting on Cota. Up top, here's Eddie. Inside Zwicker, baseline jump shot. That's his shot.
But Cota did the good thing. He made a ball fake to have the defender who was guarding Stewart go to the help side, and then he got it to Zwicker, who's been playing very well for the Tar Heels to get that shot wide open.
4 points now for Serge Zwicker. Averages 11 points on the season. Really has benefited from the departure of Rasheed Wallace. Gonzalez off the side of the rim. Snatched down by Antoine Jameson.
2-3 defense. Real tough for Gonzalez to get that shot over Zwicker.
Elijah. All down by Duck. 15:37 to go here in the first half. North Carolina, the #1 seed. California, the #5 seed. Gonzalez almost had it stripped away. Picked up. Had a steam. Got to the basket. Left it for Elijah. Williams on the baseline, and he'll get a foul.
Well, Gonzalez is the one that gets the offensive foul in favor of the Cal Bears. But I'll tell you what he did. He gave up on this end. Made a great effort to get back on the young.
15:22 to go here in the first half. North Carolina up by 1. The Cal defense is the #1 defense in the Pac-10 this season. They allowed only 68 points per game. And their field goal percentage defense is #1 as well, only 40%, and they have really been cleaning the glass.
What really happened when they lost Ed Gray, who's the second leading scorer in the country at about 24-8, they got some more size and depth when they ended up getting Gonzalez and Grigsby to come back in. So what they were able to do is get the big bodies to get down and aggressively. They got depth, so defensively their pressure was able to be exerted a lot more often.
Lobbed inside, Grigsby, nice catch. Can't get it to roll in. He'll get a second chance. And this time he'll make him pay for it.
Well, I'll tell you, the big fellas are coming at him playing in the game, both Stewart and Grigsby.
Williams, quick release.
You got to get there. You got to get to Shimon like right away.
The MVP of the ACC tournament. Averaged 20 points and 5 assists, coming off a 15-point effort against Colorado. Here's Duck. Heels in the zone. Out of bounds, and North Carolina will get it back.
Well, with Cal, you have to remember, they've got size in terms of more shoulder-to-shoulder size. You see the pass go in here to Grigsby. He misses a little easy one right there, but watch him go up and get it to it quickly, and it gets there. Serge Zwicker is there, but can't not get up in time to stop that shot.
Bounced inside. Jamison, great hands, but more importantly, a nice look from Eddie Cota.
No, it's a heck of a pass to be able to bounce that one right down in that area that easily.
Duck. Zwicker with the rebound. Here's a freshman from Brooklyn pushing it ahead. Knocked out of bounds. And Prentice Magruder, the senior from Benton Harbor, Michigan, really selling out on the play.
Did a great job anticipating where that was going. Now, this pass is up. There's no way you think Magruder can get there, but he gets there. Could not get his feet over the table one way, so he tries it another. And he gets up back in the game. And so, it's good to be young.
Allen Johnson, watch out. He may be a high hurdler coming up.
We got to work on his form.
14-10, Carolina. Williams crosses over on Anwar McQueen, pulls up inside. Loose ball and jump ball. Tar Heels will hold on.
Yeah, now you see the Tar Heels going after some offensive glass work. And that's what you need to see. That's their first offensive rebound, and by virtue of that, Cal has been very active offensively, particularly on the glass. They've picked up 3.
Carolina, they've won 14 in a row, 17 of their last 19. They're shooting 50% from the floor in their last 10 games.
Gus, they haven't lost since the month of January. I mean, their last loss, matter of fact, was against their arch rival Duke.
Carter took a step in. Vince Carter, sophomore, Armand Beach, California. Tar Heels on a 7-0 run. They lead by 6. California 4 of 11 from the field. There's Grigsby, snared inside. Rebounded by Zwicker.
They just put the height on you, and then they push it right at you.
In the corner, Williams. And McQueen with the rebound. Tony Gonzalez.
Boy, you saw that football speed there, that extra burst at the end to go get that. That's when they throw the ball in the air to you, and sometimes they lead you. You got to run under it, just like Gonzalez did that time.
He's 6'6", 250, All-American by the Sporting News and Football News. 15 to shoot, McQueen.
They're halfway down.
6-point lead still for the Tar Heels. Lobbed inside, Zwicker, the kick out, Williams.
This tempo obviously is where Carolina wants it. Is somewhat slow. I think California wants to speed it up a little bit because Serge Zwicker can stay in the game if you don't have it running up and down.
North Carolina on a 10-0 run, and California needs to talk things over. They're down 19-10.
One of the things Cal has to figure out how to do, more than anything, Serge Zwicker, though he hasn't really made a lot of shots, he made the one shot. He is big enough that he attracts attention. And when he does that, he either gets one of his teammates open, he doesn't allow for an easy basket by the Cal Bears, and coming back on the other end, Shimon Williams has just found his range.
Gene Smith, he said the most special thing about breaking the record was to see all the players come back. George Karl, Sam Perkins, Bobby Jones, Mitch Kupchak, they were all there to greet him in the tunnel after the basketball game.
Yeah, it was a big thing for Coach Smith, even though he wouldn't allow it to be, seen publicly. I mean, I think anybody would be proud of the fact they've been able to be at anything long enough to be considered the best based upon numbers.
And we'll get a foul away from the basketball. Antoine Jamison picking up the foul. That's his second. 11:53 to go. California down by 9.
In Syracuse, no story reflects the heart and personality of a team better than the story of California's Al Grigsby. As Gus mentioned earlier, Grigsby's jersey was retired this season. Grigsby is not a stats superstar, but after battling through 3 injury-filled years, this gesture was about courage and commitment. And Grigsby's spirit is directly linked now to Cal's success. Coach Ben Braun told us that Al's example of perseverance has helped the team overcome the loss of Ed Gray and reach a level of play that nobody thought possible, Gus.
All right, Andrea, Coach Braun adding to that story called Al Grigsby a great role model for the student athlete. And that was one of the reasons his jersey was retired.
As you talked about, I mean, here's a guy that goes 6 years because of injuries and plays and is willing to stick it out for his team. And I mean, it says a lot about the young man. And I think he's really made his teammates, who needed some direction after the change in coaching staff, gave him something to hold on to. And Ben Braun has very much appreciated what Grigsby has brought.
7 on the shot clock. McQueen all by himself. And he buried it. Cal now 1 of 4 from the three-point line. And they trail it 19-13. Carolina 3 of 5. Coda. Nice hard dribble jump hook. Carter.
Well, Carter's very confident in his ability to be down there on the block because he knows he's got Gonzalez, and Carter's coming back saying he can't hold me. He knows he's got a football player playing basketball, and he just thinks he's much better.
And a traveling violation. Serge Zwicker, 7 feet 2 inches tall, the tallest player ever at North Carolina.
He never leaves his feet. I mean, he just stands there, gets a hand on the ball, but that's one of the blocks he's gotten. The other is, I'm telling you, his hands have been up. He's caused 2 misses because he's been close, as well as he's gotten an easy basket for Carolina moving the defense. As we look at now, coming into a 2-3 zone, is Cal trying to change the look. They've got to keep a man pointed, if you will, and by that I mean you've got to find Shamond Williams because he's a guy you know can drain a 3.
Coda trying to feed it inside, got hung up. McQueen the other way. Duck. Thought about it, passed up the shot.
Passed it up because a good defense by Vince Carter. Got a hand up, nowhere to go.
Marks. His shot off the side of the backboard. Serge Zwicker, as you mentioned, never jumping, just keeping those hands up.
There's a big target, 7-3. That's a huge target to try to throw over.
Knocked away and a foul. Zwicker reaching in on McQueen.
And McQueen just throws it up, and it goes in. Dakota tries to throw it off. You can see Vince Carter moving, but the defense standing right there. Jones standing. Kenyon Jones is the one got a hand on it and just tapped the ball back out, and then the foul call on Zwicker as he goes down.
Cal so far shooting 31%, 5 of 14 from the field. 9:56 to go. 21-13 our score from the semifinals at the East Regional.
What Cal has to be able to do is get duck shots. He's their best 3-point shooter, and they've got to make sure they keep an eye on where he is.
Here's Marks, back out to McQueen, and he couldn't get it over the rim.
Big-time rebound by Jamison, though. I mean, he went up early, too early, and was able to stay up. Duck fouled him on the ground.
So Duck picking up his first foul. Carolina walking the ball up the floor. 21-13. 2-3 zone being applied by the Bears.
This is what Carolina wants the game at this pace. So you go into a zone, you pretty much float it to where they want it. And the one thing it allows is Antoine Jamison with his quickness to come from the backside of the zone. That's how you get open. That's how you just broke right in there to get that one.
Antoine Jamison picking up the foul. He was first team All-ACC this season. As a sophomore, was first team All-ACC as a freshman. Only 4 other players have done that. In the corner, Carter. Scramble for the ball. Zwicker getting on the floor, but he has it taken away. Here's Duck.
no offensive flow by California, and you've got to give the credit to what Carolina is doing defensively. They've changed up their defense, and Cal has not reacted quickly enough to be able to take advantage of either the zone and the penetration or being able to get wide open looks down on the block.
With Mike Stewart trying to go baseline, shut off, somehow got it up. Jumping in.
That is some athletic move because Zwicker had him blocked out on one side of the basket, and Stewart gets over quickly to the other for the tip.
6 points for Michael Stewart. He's at his season average.
They didn't reset the shot clock. Yeah, they didn't reset the shot clock, so the shot clock alarm went off. I mean, you'll get to see right here. Now, this is a heck of a move, but the shot clock is what it's about now because Stewart gets back up quickly to get it in. But watch, the shot clock needs to be reset to 35, and see, it never does. And then they just kept let it run. So the officials, first of all, have to figure out how much time was run off based upon the game clock and make sure they do something similar to that in terms of what they take off on the shot clock. So that's what the discussion is about now.
Jim Burr, the lead official, straightening things out at the scorer's desk as you take a look at Coach Smith and another look at the play.
Well, we'll see it go in. And it should have been reset. You got 1, 2. So basically, if it goes down to 8 seconds, you almost need to take that off the clock. So you would be looking, obviously at 27 seconds or thereabouts. Officials trying to get help anywhere they can. even going to give an explanation or maybe get some help from Dean Smith. They go to 27 seconds.
Jim Burr explains things to Ben Braun. So 8:29 to go, 27 seconds on the shot clock, 21-15. Cal stays in the zone. Here's Maktar Jah, transfer from Michigan. 12 to shoot.
The transfer from Michigan was going to go to Wake Forest, never got there.
Vince Carter picking up his dribble. Great ball fake by Williams, but he gets caught shuffling his feet.
Shaman was ready to line it up. Defense came out at him quickly. Wasn't able to get it off without the travel.
Right now, California needs more support from their guards. Their guards have accounted for only 3 points. North Carolina's guards accounting for 13.
They can't get inside. That's why one of the reasons the guards can't get there. They couldn't get by Zwicker. He's out, and the pressure by the Tar Heels has been very good. What they will do is close out. See how quickly they get out there and close out?
Here's Grigsby.
He had Duck earlier, and that pass is too late.
Duck left his feet. Magruder, a rare shot by him. Scramble, picked up by Magruder, lost his feet. Stewart, and he is fouled from behind.
And Magruder made the play, you're right. I mean, he takes the shot, but then he's able to chase it down and stumbled and got it to Stewart.
Michael Stewart trying to bring rain down on the floor. Let's listen to the play. He really wanted to throw it down if he would have gotten to the basket.
And that makes it a good foul because he was going to slam it down, possibly giving some energy to his club, and that's what happens. That's why that's a good foul. You don't want to let a guy get a wide open dunk like that because his team starts feeling the surge, if you will, and then from there they would possibly start playing better. See, because the tempo stays at the same. It's kind of slowed down with the shot.
Seven points now for Stewart. And he has really kept him in this ball game. Misses the second. On 7 first down points, he only averages 6. 21-16. Jive. They reverse it. Williams will try to get the step off McQueen. Jamison underneath.
Good job of cutting Jamison off. Jamison's very quick when he gets the basketball around the basket.
High pick and roll. Cota backs up. He'll go to the left side now. 10 to shoot. Bounce pass. Right out of bounds. 7:06 to go. California. They won't go away.
New York group here watching the other game in Birmingham for you. This game 21-16. Let's look in now on Chattanooga Providence. Pat O'Brien along with George Raveley, Mike Krzyzewski, and Clark Kellogg. And really a sloppy game early in the story so far for Providence. Austin Crozier has 2 fouls and 3 points, Mike.
Well, that's taken them out of the post for post offense, too. But what Providence has just done, Pat, is they've gone to a 1-3-1 half-court trap, and it's gotten some transition going for him. And Derek Brown, the guy that I wanted to recruit to Duke after our game last Sunday, is turning it on a little bit. They're having a spurt.
Both teams are combined 0-5 on the threes, Clark.
Well, anytime you're going to face trapping defenses, you've got to make basketball plays, and you got to make open shots, just like Crozier did there.
And what's happening also, Mike, for Providence is they're now starting to generate a speed game, and when they're playing fast, that's when they're at their best.
Will you quit bringing up Providence like that? I saw them play at their best. We turned up their cylinders a little bit. They only scored 98 against us.
Crozier now with 5 points. And, of course, the battle of the Cinderellas, as everybody likes to call them, including us, I guess, and the winner will play Arizona.
Hey, Clark, he's a defensive coach at Duke.
I would, Raveling used to be.
You know what? I'm closing this down. Let's go back to Syracuse. North Carolina leads 21-16. We'll talk to you a little later, and we'll leave Mike alone, too.
All right, Patrick, here. Cal shooting 33% from the floor. 1 of 6 from the three-point line. North Carolina, 57%. 3 of 5 from downtown, but they only lead it by 5, 21-16.
Kyle's starting backcourt has been scoreless. Magruder got the only 3 points from the guards. So you expect here sometime soon to see something happening from the guard position.
Out of bounds. And Cal will hang on to it.
I frankly, Gus, if I'm Dean Smith, I'm a little bit worried. I mean, because they don't necessarily have a lead going here pretty strong, and they shot it well. I thought the ball got knocked out off of Vince Carter's hand. He didn't think so. Obviously, he didn't think so. But California gets the ball back.
So Tony Gonzalez inbounding the basketball. They swing it. Duck has not really looked for a shot. He's got to shoot the ball.
I'll tell you why he hadn't looked for it. They put a man on him that all he has to do is put a hand up, and there's nowhere for him to go. And they just almost threw the pass away. Carolina is extremely quick to the basketball.
Here's Gonzalez. Great pass to Stewart.
I thought the ball got partially blocked going there, but Stewart is quick to it either way.
9 points now for Michael Stewart. 3-point lead. Zwicker snatched down by Grigsby. A 3 to tie it here for the Golden Bears.
This is a chance Duck can get loose if he can get it in transition. That's one of the few times he can get loose.
Can't create any separation. Magruder does. His shot off the back of the iron. And Zwicker with the rebound. Shammond Williams, the point guard, now replacing Eddie Cota. Jamison turnaround off the glass. And Grigsby with yet another rebound. He had 13 against Nova.
Magruder, who doesn't normally turn the ball over that time, did a poor job anticipating. And as Gonzalez was going to the basket, he threw the ball to the corner and right out of bounds.
4:38 to play in the first half. Third all-time meeting between these two teams. Their last meeting December 5th of 1973 in Chapel Hill when Carolina hung on for a 74-70 win.
You know, Ben Braun has played against North Carolina before. He took his EMU team at Eastern Michigan, and they played in the Sweet 16. Carolina beat them there, so he's got some experience against Dean Smith and Carolina. But obviously not this team. That was in 1991.
Last year with Eastern Michigan, Ben Braun led his team into the final 32. They beat Duke in the first round and lost to Connecticut in the second round. Here's Cota, really shook down Duck, got it to Jamison, and he laid it in.
I mean, that's a basketball player doing what he has to do. Jamison gets the basket, but it was the shake it up. Little milkshake action there by Cota to just get away from his defender, freeing up Jamison for the easy shot.
23-18. They look inside. Jones leaning on Zwicker. Better get out of the lane. I'm calling for 3 seconds. Here's Duck holding it up high. 13 on the shot clock. Gonzalez, Zwicker in front of him. To Duck off the glass. He short-armed it. But Grigsby hauls it in.
They short-armed it because he thought Zwicker was going to come back and get to it. And there's nowhere for Gonzalez to go because Zwicker comes out.
Duck passes up the shot again. Gonzalez, and a whistle, and foul.
And that's the play you've got to make. If Zwicker's going to come out and try to cover you at the foul line, you've got to make a man of that size have to get some lateral movement, and Gonzalez did that on that play. Twice, Zwicker's come out, and there's been nowhere for Gonzalez to go. So smartly, he makes Zwicker move, and Zwicker gets called from the foul on the backside.
So, Tony Gonzalez, 6'6", 250 junior, from Seal Beach, California, had a season-high 23 points against Villanova. All-American tight end, had 44 catches for 699 yards for Steve Mariucci and the Golden Bears, and Mariucci's first and only season at Cal. He is now the head coach for the San Francisco 49ers. And you can see the athleticism when you watch the kid play.
Oh, he actually just knocked this one out. He is an athlete. There's no doubt about it, Gus. I think he's probably a better athlete than he is a basketball player. He's been shooting it better, showing some basketball skills. That's why Ben Braun has had some success here in the tournament.
3:16 to go in the first half. 23-19, Carolina. Before the start of the season, and you have to tip your hat as Williams takes the shot way off the mark. Scramble for the ball inside, back to Williams. He'll wind up again, and this time, count.
You can't give him two looks. He is a shooter and a very good shooter. But going back to the Ben Braun story you talked about, the difference that was made with Ben Braun is he made a commitment to the seniors, and that was so important to the balance of the team. As you see, Sean Marks drill it too, because once the seniors buy in, they're your leaders, and they got the balance of the team to make a commitment too. So the commitment to the seniors was very important by Ben Braun in the short time between the time he took the job and having to get out to Cal, not doing any recruiting.
Coach Bozeman, though, left him with 6 seniors. He had led them to the NCAAs 3 of his 4 years. Here's Okalija, pump fake, hops inside, too much, knocked out of bounds, save, Zwicker, and he got the roll.
Poor save by Gonzalez. You don't save the ball going out of bounds back to the opposition's basket. Just swing it out to half court, hopefully to start a fast break the other way.
7-point lead now for the Tar Heels. Here's Gonzalez trying to get around Zwicker. Fade away, and a nice bounce for the All-America tight end.
And that was the tight end move because he took the bump. There's no doubt. That's a football move. Having done that for 2 years, you're used to getting bumped, and you can play off of it. And that's exactly what he did on Zwicker.
Projected as a mid to late first-round pick. Prentice Magruder with the rebound. 5-point lead for North Carolina. Gonzalez to the basket, tried to split the defense, and an offensive foul.
Well, that's a call that was a pretty difficult one to make because things happen so fast for the officials. He hadn't made a jump shot as Gonzalez, so he makes the turn right here. Looks like there was a little movement on that one right there. But because he's used to the contact, watch, he goes and draws contact here. Serge gives a little bit, backs off, and Gonzalez is able to put that one down.
28-23, a minute 18 to go here in the first half. Our second game. The first being won by Louisville over Texas. However, the Cardinals did suffer a big setback. DeJuan Wheat sprained his ankle. And he is doubtful for Sunday against the winner of this one.
It would seem to me that it'd be extremely difficult for DeJuan Wheat to get back into a game and play, given that he didn't come back in. But I'm sure the Cards and all their fans are hoping to have their leading scorer back on the floor come Sunday.
North Carolina already with 10 turnovers. They only average 14 on the season. Under a minute to go, 28-23. A bucket would really give the Bears a nice lift going into halftime.
Yeah, I think they could really use it, Gus.
Magruder finds McQueen. He got inside. Duck all alone. Bang.
Right you. And the play is made from the dribble penetration, which they have not had against the zone, and then the skip pass over the top to their best three-point shooter in Randy Duck.
28-26, 28 seconds to go here in the first half. California, really competitive half for them. As Ben Braun on the sidelines, he's got both hands up.
Ben Braun's going to need a towel with all the energy he's got.
Zwicker. Ademola Ogalaja crashing the boards.
They got a shot at it.
Here's McQueen to Grigsby. Balls up. And it's cleared by Carter. He'll heave it. And that is the end of the first half of play. North Carolina, the number 1 seed, leading California, the number 5 seed, by 2. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message.
At the pace you want for the second half.
As long as we're not giving up easy transition baskets, Andrea, and also we were giving up some early threes. I thought our defense was a lot better towards the end of the first half. If we can keep that pace and just play that solid defense, give them one shot, you know, that's our goal.
Did you take some momentum into the locker room? It seemed like it.
I think we did. I think we were getting better shots down the stretch of the half, and I think we were doing a better job defensively.
Hey, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Andrea Joyce moments ago with Coach Ben Braun, and his Bears will get the basketball to start the second half of play. On the floor for him, Gonzalez, Duck, Grigsby, Magruder, and Michael Stewart. For Carolina, Vince Carter, Antoine Jamison, Okalaja, Zwicker, and Shammond Williams.
They've got to get Duck off. Duck averaged 17 points in their first 2 NCAA games and really didn't do anything offensively. So he's a guy I think they've got to look to get some points from.
There he is, had it blocked by Zwicker. Ahead to Okalaja. Straight to the basket, and he lays it in.
Tough move, but a great defensive effort by Grigsby. Just a better move by Okalaja just to get it going.
Okalaja, called by Dean Smith, one of the best all-around athletes in the ACC.
From the block, you see he gets the ball out right at the top, and then he just pushed it, and then from there, the defense could never catch up with him.
Sophomore from Berlin, Germany, was suggested to Coach Smith by former Tar Heel Rick Rodel. 4-point lead for Carolina. Duck around the screen. Yes.
Well, you know, I figured he'd have to come and get it done because he was only 1 for 5 in the first half with 3 points. And you need some perimeter shooting.
Williams had it stripped away. He had 9 in the first half. Zwicker, 16-footer. And the big fella trying to extend his range, but he knew that wasn't a good shot to take.
Yeah, he really should have known it because it was too early in the offense. If you get that one and you moved it 4 or 5 times, that's a shot you can take.
Gonzalez. Grigsby. Right hand rattles down.
And a strong post-up move. No resistance from Jamison.
And Al Grigsby, 8 points. The senior from Houston, Texas. And we're tied at 30. Williams looking down low. He'll put it on the deck.
They can post up Carter. Duck is on Carter. That's a matchup that favors Carolina.
Rolls, baseline, got it off. Rebounded Jamison. He'll force one up. Tipped out and a foul. That'll go against Okalaja. Foul number 3.
Well, Dean Smith, I'm sure, is worried because his team is starting to hurry a little bit in their offense and not getting the shots where they need to get them.
Into the second half of play. California trailed by 2 at halftime, but it's all tied up right now here at the East Regional Semifinal. Game number 2, game number 1, won by Denny Crum's Louisville Cardinals. They await the winner of this matchup. Here's Grigsby, big hop, and we get a whistle and contact. Zwicker will pick up the foul, and it looked like Grigsby
initiated the contact. You're right. It's exactly what it looked like. He may have gotten away with a little bit of a travel, but he gets the ball. Maybe tough to see here, but he makes the contact, and then he hops. Zwicker comes down with the arm. That's generally going to be called against you. Zwicker is trying to say he initiated the contact. Officials do not agree.
So Grigsby, 9 points now to go along with 3 rebounds. He's a 57% free throw shooter. And that is the first California lead since the score was 10-9. They're up by 2. Carolina, the number 1 seed. Winners of 14 of their last 17. Rather, 14 in a row, 17 of their last 19. Zwicker, the air ball.
Had no chance to go. He never saw the basket.
Here's Duck. Got the snap.
Oh, young fella, don't go at him like that.
And a big smile from the Duck man. California on an 8-0 run, their largest lead of the game.
Does a good job getting himself out in the break, first of all, and Duck is a guy we talked about had to be effective in the second half, and you'll see he gets out knowing the defense is going to make some contact. Carter tries to get out of the way, doesn't do a good job. Duck gets it in and lets everybody know that Duck's got 2.
3 of 7 from the field. He's got 7 points. Trying to extend the Cal lead to 5. Short on the free throw. Coda back in the game now for Carolina. And a whistle and foul inside. Duck call for reaching in. So in the East, Louisville, a big game from Alvin Sims, and they advance. However, one setback, their leading scorer, DeJuan Reed, who averages 18 points a game, is doubtful for Sunday. He twisted his ankle on a jump shot. Shammond Williams hustled down by Gonzalez.
Because though DeJuan Reed twisted his ankle, his club seemed to rally around, played pretty well without it. Interesting to see if they'll be able to do that after having some time to think about it, to see the miss by Grigsby.
Carolina back on offense now. Coda winds up. Eddie Coda went from December 7th to March 7th without a three-pointer. Here in the tournament, he's hit 5.
I think a lot of that just has to do with just confidence. He feels a lot better out there at the perimeter. More importantly, he knows what Dean Smith and the coaching staff expect of him, and he knows where he can get his shots.
They look backside. Gonzalez pulls up, comes up short. Okalaja with the rebound. Carolina down 1. Williams, nice grab. Jamison rejected. Michael Stewart, the all-time leader in block shots at Cal, threw it out of there. Duck.
Now we got a little bit of game, I think. You like it, if you will, for Gonzalez, because there was some contact there. But you lack the ability of people to run up and down the court. But defensively, if you can get someone active as Stewart, you got good things going for you, because Jamison around the basket is quick. But he makes the block for Cal to go the other way.
His nickname is Yogi, and right now his Bears look good. For California, 15:58 to go here in the second half. Gus Johnson along with Quinn Buckner. California coming out with a head of steam here in the second half of play.
Gus, they took it right in at the halftime, and then they got Randy Duckoff, their leading scorer, and the guy can shoot it with range. He gave them the energy they needed. He had 7 points, 2 for 2 in the second half, 3 for 7 all day. So he's the guy they wanted to get off, and they've been able to do that.
Magruder inside. Stewart knocked away, but the ball goes right back to Magruder. He'll go to Stewart again.
That is, I can't believe it. Those are 2 calls that they don't call. The first one, I don't know how you don't call anything, but if Zwicker doesn't take his hands straight up, that's a foul by rule.
Vince Carter. Carolina going cold, out of bounds. They say it's last touch by the Golden Bears.
Well, you can see it's getting a little rough inside now. Antoine Jamison is not known to be a guy that likes that kind of play. So we'll see if he stays in and battles with the physical play of the front court of the Cal Bears.
2 of 9 for Carolina in the second half. Coda pitches it to Carter. 2-3 zone right now for Cal. Here's Okalaja. Let it fly and buried it.
They've got to know that Okalaja can make those shots and got to get out there.
5 points now for Ademola Okalaja. That one a 3. Carolina reclaims the lead. They're up by 2. Sean Marks in the game now for Cal. Top of the key. He'll take it and get it.
And strokes it like it's nothing. And you've got a problem if you're staying man-to-man, because there's no way Zwicker's going to come out and guard Sean Marks when he stands out there and shoot threes.
Discovered by Todd Bozeman, playing in the Rockfish League. He's a junior from New Zealand, nicknamed Kiwi.
Yeah, but they like him. He wanted to come and play basketball. Obviously, down in New Zealand, the sport of choice is rugby. He's not a rugby player. With this height, came over looking for an opportunity to play, and it's been a big factor for the Bears.
Another good find by Coach Bozeman. 6'10", 250.
But when you got a guy that big, and this happens a lot in international competition, that can shoot the perimeter jump shot, puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
And Coda turns it over. McQueen ahead of the field, underneath, and he got it.
Smart play to use the rim to protect it, because otherwise Okalaja had to block.
Eddie Coda now with 4 turnovers for North Carolina. And a whistle and foul inside.
If Cal's going to do anything and make it go, it's got to be off of breaks and defense. And you see right there, Ed Coda was trying to turn the corner going to his right, just lost it. And then a smart play going back on the other end, getting it to go down by McQueen.
And Duck picks up his 3rd foul.
Well, it'll change the complexion in terms of what you want to do offensively, knowing that Duck, your leading three-point shooter, has got to sit down. Now you've got to see if the inside game comes alive for California. It has not been so thus far.
Cal by 3. And they pack the zone in once again. Coda stops at the free throw line. Jamison squaring up. Rebounded by Stewart. He just jumped over everybody.
I'm telling you, that was an athletic play because he was able to get the thing over Zwicker.
4 rebounds for Stewart. 13:40 to go. A #1 seed has already fallen. And I'll tell you what.
It's a real problem for Carolina now because Zwicker was out that time and the post-up was starting to come from either Gonzalez or Stewart. Carolina's got to consider whether they may want to go to a zone.
And California, the more shots they hit, the more they believe that they can beat this Carolina team. Zwicker rejected by Magruder. And he'll lead the break. California with numbers. Magruder out of bounds. And Carolina gets it back.
A little too much mustard on that one. You've got a chance to get a break in tournament play. You don't need to be coming with the behind-the-back fake. But you see Magruder do a good job getting over there. Stewart comes up with it. Then Magruder gets it out and tries to push the ball up and goes behind his back. But Cal has been active with the blocks. They've got 3. Carolina has none.
California 6 of 11 from the field as Al Grigsby checks back into the game. They're leading 42-36. 13 minutes, 7 seconds to go.
Gus, you look at a team that had a chance to get momentum in Cal, and you see a guy make that kind of play. Ben Braun knows they may have blown a perfect opportunity to try to go at the spirit of the Tar Heels.
Coda trying to get around the corner. Williams really guarded up closely around the three-point line.
Yeah, they're very much trying to keep an idea of where Williams is. You see Magruder trying to get out there and got there late.
Gets to the basket, and McQueen steps in the passing lane, comes up with the steal. Largest lead of the game right now for Cal. Gonzalez facing up, swings it, got to the basket, up strong and a foul.
It's the concern from Marks, having made the one shot, that Ben Braun knows the defense is not going to be nearly as prepared when his post-up people try to go to the basket. That's how Gonzalez gets there and gets the foul.
So Tony Gonzalez, 60% free throw shooter, already declaring himself eligible for the NFL draft. And he'll get the first one. A #1 seed already falling this evening. Arizona upsetting Kansas in Birmingham. Could we have the second #1 seed on the ropes this evening?
And another Pac-10 team in the finals for the region.
10. 4 in the Sweet 16. Cal leading 43-36.
One of the Big Ten, Pac-10 teams got themselves obviously knocked out when Stanford just couldn't handle Utah. I see Dean Smith is over on the side, and he's done this a couple times. I've watched him with the officials. He's making his point known. He's trying to make sure his team gets a fair shake in the foul called area.
Cota. 2-3 zone still being applied. No outside shooting right now for North Carolina. There's Williams, passes it up. Cota inside, short. Got his own rebound, up again. No good. Snatched down by Grigsby.
They got the powerful inside game, but they've taken away Shammond Williams.
Williams with 9 points in the first half.
Oh, he's got him all day long, and Mark just makes a bad pass.
11:33 to go. Carolina in trouble.
In effect, what you get here is right here you got a post up, because with Zerschwicker, he's normally standing in here. He has gone out because the moments before, Sean Marks has made a shot, and you'll see what it does is it basically opens up the inside. That one goes in. Now you'll see Cal start looking inside a great deal more, knowing the fact that when Schwicker's in the game, he's got to go out and cover. He's now on the bench.
But defense also really playing an important role for this California team. Carolina shooting 37% here for the game, 3 of 14 in the second half.
And you can see there 2 of 3 from the three is Cal, in addition to that 2 of 9. Cal has become, for Dean Smith, a concern because they're so much more aggressive than they were in the first, I thought, 15 minutes of the game. And that's when you in tournament play, that's the tough thing that the coaches don't know, is how young people are going to react when you're in these kinds of situations. Here's where you just want to be like Duck. It is yours to take, but they're not giving away championships.
Marks to Grigsby. He'll lean in and just completely run over Antoine Jamison.
Just had bad balance there when he got the pass. Grigsby with that body. Jamison's in very good defensive position, takes the hit and goes down.
And we told you about the Cal defense being the #1 defense in terms of points allowed in the Pac-10 at 68, and the #1 field goal percentage defense.
And they got Carolina at 21% in this half. So obviously able to do something. Carolina is 1 of 11 for twos here in the second half.
They hold teams to 40% shooting on the season. Carolina 37%. 43-36. Inside Jamison, and he got the roll.
Good read on the defense coming from the backside. Marks is not quick enough to get over there. They've got Stewart out of the game, and he's off the bench because Ben Braun knows they'll go to that more since the timeout.
8 points for Jamison, 43-38, approaching the 10-minute mark. And Eddie Cota comes up with the steal. In transition. Down low, and wheeling to the basket. And he's fouled.
My reaction comes from, that was a questionable pass, but Jamison is so quick. He got there before anyone on Cal reacted. I mean, this is a tough pass to handle. I mean, it's just flicked up there, and Jamison comes to the ball, which you should do at all times, and then the defense is reacting from then on. Grigsby picks up the foul.
So Antoine Jamison averaging 19 points a game, only 8 this evening so far, and he'll miss the first. We told you, as a freshman, he was first team All-ACC, one of 5 players to ever do that. The other 4, Stephon Marbury, Joe Smith, Kenny Anderson, Skip Wise, and a whistle and foul. Maktar Jai picking up his second. And prior to that last basket by Antoine Jamison, North Carolina had went 4 minutes and 18 seconds without scoring a basket. So the defense really starting to stiffen up for the Bears.
Good adjustments at halftime. I think a part of that. Ben Braun is one of the coaches that I think does a very good job with their play.
43-38, 9:51 to go. Gonzalez got inside, finds Duck. 13 on the shot clock. Duck fading away on the baseline, and he got it.
Well, you could see he was comfortable with the ball there, but Gonzalez was about to travel. Duck has come out, been looking for his shot, which he did not do in the first half.
9 points, 3 of 3 in the second half. 45-38. Okalaja bottled up. Here's Williams. No look pass. Jamison blocked out nicely by Grigsby, and Stewart comes up with the rebound.
One of the things that happens when Jamison takes a shot, he has guys as quick as he is in Stewart and Grigsby back to the ball on the glass. Jamison not easily getting any putbacks.
Here's Stewart facing up underneath. No call on the play. Grigsby catches it up, and the bounce will go Gonzalez. And a foul was called before the ball was lodged in the rim.
They call it on Serge Zwicker. That's got to be the only person they could call it on, I would think. Because we talked about at the top whether Carolina was going to be as physical, and part of that is aggressiveness, and that's what has happened in the second half. California much more aggressive, quicker to the ball. Third foul by Zwicker.
So Gonzalez at the free throw line, and when you look, talking about the physical nature of this game, you look at guys like Grigsby and Gonzalez. These two guys, you know Gonzalez is a football player, but Grigsby, he's 6'9", 235, and he's built like a brick house.
The other thing to take into consideration with that, Gus, when you've got guys that are seniors and they're 5th and 6th year seniors, they are physically more mature, and Carolina is running to a little bit of that, and that they're running to more mature bodies and better definition, and they're dealing with guys that are probably fearless because they're seniors as well.
Only one senior playing for this Carolina team. That's Serge Zwicker. And Antoine Jamison fouled, and he will go to the free throw line. And don't forget, tomorrow we have regional final action. UCLA against Minnesota, a 1 versus 2. Kentucky and Utah, a 1 versus 2. 3:40 and 6 o'clock tip times. Antoine Jamison, sophomore from Charlotte.
You know, the UCLA-Minnesota game, you've got two teams that basically had to make some plays happen for themselves in terms of overtime. You wonder whether they'll be leg weary. And I don't really think so. Frankly, at this point in the season, I don't think it matters. If you're not in shape by now, you won't get in shape.
5-point lead for Cal. And here comes the trap by North Carolina. And McQueen patiently finds the point guard. Magruder, McQueen in the backcourt. Duck, Stewart, Grigsby up front. Really a 3-guard rotation for Cal. Here's Duck underneath. 13 on the shot clock. Magruder weaving his way in. 7 on the shot clock. Magruder will take it. And rebounded by Ademola Okalaja. 8:11 to play. High pick and roll for Williams. He leaves his feet. Jamison leading in.
If Jamison gets it that close, there's nothing you can do. Williams does a good job finding inside.
Carolina refusing to die. The #1 seed. And a timeout, 20 seconds, called by the Bears. 7:56 to go.
Now, Gus, you and I know very well, and I want to just make sure everybody takes this into consideration. They had basically killed off Carolina when they started off 0-3 in the conference because they are a young team. They have matured beyond their years in a lot of ways. They're playing against a mature team, but I say that to say they're not going to die. If they get beaten, it's because they just don't play well, not because they don't make an effort.
Take a step back and look at the overall picture, the tournament summary. Minnesota, their second Elite Eight appearance in school history. Arizona defeating Kansas and Louisville. They beat Texas and will advance to the Elite Eight to face the winner of this game.
Minnesota is real for the reason that they can guard you so well, particularly on the perimeter. Their guards are very strong.
Sam Jacobson, 29 points. Bobby Jackson had 36 for the Golden Gophers in their win over Clemson. Okalaja changed his shot in midair. Coda straight to the hole. By Jamison. 14 points for Antoine Jamison. 5 rebounds. Carolina down by 1.
But the other thing that's happened is Duck hadn't gotten any looks.
There he is.
See, he hadn't gotten any in the rhythm in so long, he really just took a shot because he hadn't gotten any.
Inside again, Jamison all by himself, and Carolina reclaims the lead.
And Cota is making the finds. Penetration early, now just finding people wide open for an 8-0 run.
6 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Cal had a 7-point lead. Duck, and he finds the bottom of the well. These two teams going back and forth. Folks, this is March Madness. 2-point lead for Cal. Carter. Cota. Bounce pass inside. Jamison facing up.
They're being real patient, though, as Carolina. This is what I'm talking about, their young team. So they'll be patient, and they have been. Antoine Jamison is a guy with very quick feet around the basket. Cota breaks the defense down here, and Jamison comes with no one touching him. Left-handed, Cota tips it in. So, again, a good find right there. Ball fake, Jamison gets it. He will attack the basket to get 2 of the last 8 points for Carolina have been, actually all 8 of the points scored for Carolina have been by Antoine Jamison quickly around the basket. His teammates looking for him.
Jamison had 19 points, 16 rebounds against Colorado. And right now, he's got 17 points and 6 rebounds against California. And the next free throw coming up as he tries to tie the game.
But he gives his team some emotional surge here, which they desperately needed because they were not generating any kind of offense for themselves prior to that.
6:13 to go. We're all tied up at 48 apiece, and a lot of emotion on both benches. These two teams both playing for a trip into the Elite Eight to face Louisville in the next round. And a turnover. Gonzalez throwing it away.
And you wouldn't expect it from Gonzalez because he should do a good job anticipating. Smart play coming out of the timeout by Dean Smith and his staff to face guard. Nowhere to go with the ball. Gonzalez throws it away.
Carolina by 2. Duck loses it. Marks out of bounds. Last touch by California.
I talked about in the zone. You can come from the backside, and that's where this is coming from. Jamison comes up, standing back there. It's Vince Carter. Sean Marks can't get there in time. Finish by Carter.
UNC now outscoring Cal 20-18 inside. They lead it by 2. 5:35 to play. Here's Carter. He'll fire and get it.
He's playing with so much confidence because he knows Duck does not have the height to get up and put any pressure on his shot, nor can he guard him on the block.
Carolina on a 7-0 run, 53-48. Marks, and he answers.
Big fella giving them some height so Duck can get going.
11 points now for Marks. He's got 3 threes.
But they've got a matchup problem if Marks is going to have to guard Antoine Jamison. He's just not quick enough.
5 minutes to go.
And what Cal is banking on with Jamison is that Marks can stay down on the block with Jamison, which is where he likes to play. They come up with a steal.
Here's McQueen spotting up. And Jamison with the rebound. 7 rebounds now for Antoine Jamison. 2-point lead, North Carolina, the number 1 seed, against 5th seeded California.
And what North Carolina is going to go to no corners, but it's going to be as close as you can get to it with a 35-second clock to get a good look at the end.
Cota, Zwicker, inside Jamison. 20 points for the sophomore from Charlotte.
And has made himself available. Good pass by the big fella.
Magruder, nice deal. Jones can't hold on.
They got Jamison up.
Great catch. 2:45 to go. 4-point lead for North Carolina, and we'll get a timeout on the play. 3 minutes, 41 seconds to go. Both these teams giving their all. Carolina up 55-50.
Our race commemorates Sir Whitmore.
They're going to have to throw it over the top. Jameson's doing a good job of presenting himself. Enthusiasm coming all about on the Carolina bench. They've done a very good job in the second 10 minutes of the second half of just staying in it, getting the ball where it has to go.
During that time, Jameson scoring 12 of his 20 points. And Grigsby had it rejected. 4-point lead for North Carolina as Eddie Cota walks the ball up the floor.
Well, one thing about Serge Schwicker at 7'3", if you get tired, you don't get any shorter, and that's exactly what that was. Grigsby couldn't fire through to get it up, and just standing tall with Serge.
Shammond Williams, Cota in the backcourt, Elijah Zwicker, Jamison up front for Carolina. 9 on the shot clock. Williams cut off. He'll fire.
Always playing with some confidence. He wants it now.
And Carolina extends their lead to 7 points.
He got a good look, and he was patient on that one, but they set a pick for him to be out on that corner. But they've got to defend, and Eddie Cota, we talked about him at the top. It's hard to get the ball from him.
And we get a whistle and foul. So Eddie Cota will go to the free throw line. 17 foul called against California. Carolina, despite playing with a senior, a junior, and 3 sophomores on the court, for the majority of this game, they really have kept their composure even when they were down by 7 points. As you look at Antoine Jamison getting a blow with 2:26 to play. Sean Marks with the rebound. 4-point lead for North Carolina.
They won't throw it into Stewart, and they've got to get it to Duck because they've got to get some shots up.
Shot clock at 3. The shot clock, I believe, it's off the mark right now.
Yeah, from where it was, it seemed like it went awful quickly, and that's what the officials are going to look at. See, it's still set at 20, and that's where they had it go from. This is the second time that we've had this kind of thing happen.
So they will reset the shot clock. Good catch by the officials. And the officials, Jim Burr, Mike Foote, and Paul Jansen, they've really done a good job letting them play. Nicely officiated game. 2:03 to go. Carolina by 4. Take another look at this play that's still being figured out by the officials.
Well, you can see the shot clock was never reset. It stayed on 20. And Cal gets the ball and goes down, and it goes under that because Ben Braun realized the shot clock had not been set. So they should get the ball. Rightfully, they should get the ball.
And they do.
Yeah, because a moment ago, it looked like they were giving to Carolina. But you have a right to get it and get a correctable error in a timing issue at the next dead ball, and that's what they've done and got 12 seconds with it. .203 to play. Cal.
Anwar McQueen throwing it inbounds. He finds Duck. Duck turns and shoots. Way too strong. Did not draw iron. 6 to shoot. Magruder.
Got to get it on the rim or Carolina gets it because it never touched the rim.
And Zwicker comes up with the rebound. Under 2 minutes to play. 4-point lead for North Carolina.
Basically the 90s version of the 4 corners because they just break you down and try to get some help off.
Williams the shot clock. Cota takes a look behind his back, leaves his feet. McQueen got a hand on him.
There's really no rush here. You've got a minute 5. It's 14. You don't need to rush. You can get a good look and just get a stop coming back.
Duck lines up on the low post. He'll look to pop out with Williams on him. There he is around the screen.
Great help by Carter to step out.
Here's Duck. McQueen from downtown. Williams, Russell Stewart with the rebound. And a foul on Zwicker. That's his 4th. 1-and-1 opportunity coming up for Michael Stewart.
It was really a great effort by Stewart, much more than it was a foul, if you will, by Zwicker, because Stewart came to get it.
And the game summary. Jamison, 20 points, 8 rebounds. Duck, 15 points for Cal.
As you look at this, the other thing to take in consideration, we talked about Gonzalez, who's had an outstanding tournament, has really been a non-factor in the game, and they've been able to get some good things from Marks in terms of three-point shooting, but none of that's been enough because Jamison has been a horse in the second half.
Big miss, however, by Stewart, and Eddie Cota gets a timeout. 20-second timeout called by Carolina, 45.8 seconds remaining. And barring a 4-point play, a 2-possession game for Cal. And this is what they're playing for, an opportunity to meet the Louisville Cardinals, the 6th seed, in the Elite 8 on Sunday.
Meet the Louisville Cardinals possibly without their star guard, Juwan Wheat. Again, we talked about Carolina, go 0-3 in the conference and then figure it out and get 14 in a row from the month of month of February on.
And ironically, they had counted Dean Smith out. Some people were saying that the game had passed him by, and now his team 26-6, trying to advance to the Elite 8. And once again, we reset the game for you. Both teams with 18 fouls. 1 20-second timeout remaining for North Carolina, none for Cal. Each team with 2 full timeouts. And the possession arrow in the favor of the Tar Heels. Ed Cota, the freshman, 72% free throw shooter. Meanwhile, over in Birmingham, Providence 9 points in front of Chattanooga. Kansas already being upset today by Arizona. Our first #1 seed going out of the tournament. Second shot off the mark. Stewart with the rebound.
I tried to guard him with Duck, and he's too big. He's got himself outside. His jump shot was falling, so he proved to be a significant matchup problem for Cal as they tried to guard Vince Carter.
Carter at the free throw line. 13 points now for the sophomore from Armand Beach, Florida, rather. And he gets both. Largest lead of the game for North Carolina. However, this game and the basket at the end will count. And the final score, North Carolina advancing to the Elite 8 as they go on to win it, 63-57. This game a lot closer than the final score would indicate. Big games for Antoine Jamison. Great floor leadership by Eddie Cota. And the season has come to an end with the 6 seniors for Cal and their first-year head coach Ben Braun. So another look at the brackets here in the East. North Carolina, the #1 seed, will take on Louisville, the #6 seed. The genuine Chevrolet players of the game are Randy Duck, 15 points, 5 assists from Cal. And Antoine Jamison, 21 points and 8 rebounds for North Carolina.